And alive.
Live.
And this is the Spoken Openness podcast. Is it episode 15?
Episode 15.
It's 15. Feels like a milestone.
Does it?
Just like 15.
15 is pretty good. It's derivative of 5.
Girls make a party when they're 15. So
I used derivative wrong.
how are you?
Not bad. I'm almost finished my coffee, so we'll see if I get really sleepy in the next 15 minutes, but I'm doing well. Sunny day, sunny and cold. But that's good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Woke up early. It's already 2 p.m. It's flowing. I like the day. It's a good day.
Yeah.
I feel like not particularly excited about anything, just overall content.
That's great. That's a great
Yeah.
that's a great place to be.
I like it.
So you said that it feels like a milestone. And that would be a
It's
nice
like
segue.
sweet 15,
Sweet 15, as they say,
as some people say.
as some people say. So since it feels like a milestone, you want to touch on the podcast. How's the podcast been? How do you feel about it? What are some thoughts about it? Do you have any thoughts about it?
I don't like the whole milestone thing, first of all,
Oh, okay.
because a little aggressive there. Well, like,
Oh, okay.
hey, okay. Every conversation should be unique, and every episode should be valuable. And it's just both. Just one more episode, just one more practice. Like, it's not that important in one side, but then on the other
I see
side,
what you're saying.
every conversation has something very valuable, right? So,
Right, but I also don't think we should look at it as if every episode needs to have some sort of valuable treasure gem idea.
I think
I
even
like
if
the practice of it.
it's not about wanting. It's about you do the practice, and out of that practice,
Yeah.
there's like that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not all useless, but it's not all extremely exciting.
Right.
Like,
Right.
mhm.
It's not always hot topic, hot button issues,
Is-
exciting dialogue. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, because it's already 15. It's not like 3. It's not like 5. Like, yo, hey, we're doing this, right?
I see. You're saying the novelty's worn off.
Not at all, though.
The
No, I'm
honeymoon
not saying-
period of the podcast
not
is
saying-
over, and you're not quite as into it anymore.
It's a transition, right? It's not binary. It's
Yeah,
yeah, it's a wave.
yeah. We're trying to
It
flow
has
with it.
ups and downs. Yeah, we are flowing it. We're
We are.
surfing it.
We're surfing
Yeah.
it. Yeah, we've talked about surfing a lot. Just two surfers. I like how we bring up surfing so much for two people that
much.
don't surf.
Yeah, exactly. But I think we both would like to have the surfing lifestyle. super
Yeah,
chill.
we identify as
Yeah.
surfers.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're all about the surfing lifestyle, regardless of whether
We're
or
all
not
about
we
the
surf.
flow and the good vibes.
Yeah, and we like doing that.
We're also city surfers, skateboarders. So, yeah.
I'd like to. I haven't been on the old
You haven't?
skateboard in a long time.
How long since you've just skated a while?
Cruised
Like,
around,
yeah, cruised around, a couple of ollies, come back home.
popped a couple ollies, tore a little bit of canvas in my Vans.
Yeah.
The last time was in Indonesia when
All right.
when I
The
had the
skate
idea
park.
of like going there and skating a lot and just getting into it and improving quickly and living that lifestyle. And I discovered very quickly that I was a little scaredy cat, and that like it was really hard for me to try to improve on vert, as they call it.
Hmm.
It was
Transition.
terrifying,
Yeah.
and I couldn't overcome my fear about it and just execute and improve. I did a little bit, but it was with like a massive fight in my psyche. And I would say
Massive
that that's
fight.
different. That's different when there's something when when you started skating. I don't know. I was like an early teenager, young teenager, and
Hmm.
that isn't as much there. Like I don't think like there's fear, but you're way more like like willing to try stuff out. I feel like I made progress much faster. Do you feel
When you
that
were
way or
younger?
when I was younger? Yeah. You don't think so?
No, I don't think. I think that may be some sort of placebo thing.
Well, no,
And
I can
your own
explain
mental
it though.
beliefs.
Yeah, I think it's
Mhm.
because I just think more now, and I think more about the consequences. I have more memories of things that were painful. I've had more accidents. I'm
That may
more
just be
I'm more aware of
intellectual
the
justification,
consequences.
right? Because
Yeah.
that's not stopping you from whatever. Just
No, you're right.
you could say just skateboarding, like advancing your skateboarding. You could do that,
I will also
sure, at
say
any age.
I can let I can't really just grab the board and go cruise like I used to.
That's practice, right? But that's not. I don't think that's age. It's like I'm old. I can't do it like I used to.
No, no, no,
You're.
no, 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 no. I'm saying I'm like more conscious of how loud I'm being, of using the sidewalk,
Oh,
of
you need to
like
change your wheels. You need some smooth
I do.
rubber, super silent
I've got some
wheels
filmer
that
wheels on there.
some
Got some
nice
filmer wheels. They're
cruiser,
nice and
fast
squishy.
bearings.
I got some on there.
Did you say you did vert in Indonesia?
Yeah, I was trying.
Like half pipe?
Quarter pipe.
Okay, okay, okay.
I can go back and forth like turning 180s on the wheels and like sometimes touching the lip like
Hmm.
but I wanted to be able to go over the lip and then back down and just go like that.
Oh, rock,
Yeah,
rock,
rock to
rock,
fakie.
rock to fakie, exactly.
But I couldn't do it.
You didn't practice enough to do it.
I gave up because I was a little scaredy
You
cat.
gave up.
I gave up.
I gave up on dropping from the vert, like
Yeah,
like
from a
pro
half pipe.
like a decent X Games half pipe, like
Yeah.
looked super tall. But my dropping game was, I guess, still is. I haven't been there for a while, like probably 3 months.
Yeah.
But I gave up on the big drop-in.
Yeah. See, I feel all right with the drop in. It's the consequences of the drop in. It's like what it's like, okay, now you've dropped
The
in. Now you're coming
the
up
wall
fast
you're
on the other side.
facing.
Yeah. And it's like you got to do
Yeah.
some yeah, that's I feel all right on the drop in. The consequences are too great though. Uh
Hmm.
did you ever this happened to me a couple times where you lean too far forward and I I went a couple times. I went from a quarter pipe. I went from a quarter pipe directly onto my head, like
Yeah.
directly, like lean too far
Hmm.
forward. I basically jumped from a
That's
quarter pipe onto my head, basically.
like just
Uh,
diving, diving concrete.
basically dive. I basically dove
Oh my
headfirst
God.
into concrete with increased
Uh,
speed because of the wheels.
I'm laughing because it happened like 3 times when I was learning dropping.
Oh.
So I learned in a not a shallow pool. It was like pretty
Yeah,
deep. So, and it was one of those asphalt type, very rugged,
yeah,
very like you won't slide a bit. So
yeah.
when you fall, you just there.
Like
You have to
concrete with
take all the weight
maybe some
in, same
chips in
spot.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was
Other
that the big one. I was at my
other
friend's house, and as soon right after that happened, I they were like, "Hey, join us for breakfast," and I went inside. And I can remember eating breakfast, trying to pretend that like my world wasn't rocked. Like my consciousness was not the same. And like eating breakfast and like thank you like
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
those
like you can't breathe for
yeah.
half an hour.
Yeah, your whole system is shocked. It's like what did you just
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, there's no explanation.
It's like
But
pure calm and then just like diving headfirst into concrete.
that's the great thing about
Yeah.
skateboarding, though.
That is the great thing.
The
Concussions.
danger, no, the associated danger. Like I'm not
Yeah.
saying danger is great, and like that's the great thing about
I
skateboarding.
know
It's
what you're saying. Yeah.
the but that's why you do it.
It's
Like that's
overcoming
why
the
you put
fear.
yourself.
Yeah. It's executing in like uh executing perfectly in a short time span in the face of fear and consequences.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's like
you
it
get
is dangerous.
yeah.
Yeah, no one's telling me to do it. I want to do it. Yeah, I'm afraid, but I'm also gonna try it. And
Yeah.
here we go. But then the actual doing it,
Yeah.
and that's like
And it feels good. You land something that you've been working on. Oof.
even if you
That
don't
feels
land it,
good.
the actual trying, once you start like flowing with the board to do the trial, you
Yeah.
have to just let go of every thought and be like,
Yeah.
I'm here. Beliefs are out of the question, and this is me and my skill and my
Yeah.
muscle memory and
Yeah.
execute. And
Yeah.
also you have to learn how to fall. You have to learn
You
how to
do. Yeah.
try several times, go with the movement
Mm-hmm.
and kind of roll out of a fall.
Yeah.
And that's a great skill in life. Like if you fall and you know how to roll from the fall, get up again,
Yeah.
that's probably the one skill that
Yeah.
every great
I use that skill
achiever,
every day.
yeah, it's a great skill.
It is a great
It's
skill.
something you can practice on a skateboard.
Yeah, also the last second thoughts that come up, like if you're going to do like a stairs or you're going to do like a gap or you're trying to do something, like the thought that comes up in your head, it's just like I feel like you're leaning too far forward. Shut up. Like you just like shut it up really quick. You're like, shut up. Like the last second because you have to execute. You just quieten down. You quieten down all of the thoughts as quickly as you
Yeah,
can in the last second so you can try to do it because if you're second guessing yourself in the middle of it, it's not going to work out well for you.
that's true.
And that's the flow state.
Also,
That's the
it
flow state
helps.
and that's why we're surfers now, so it's a different lifestyle, but yeah.
Also the like the sound of the wheels
Mhm.
and just the stance
Yeah.
and pushing yourself and just like
Yeah.
that helps quiet the mind
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's
So
part of
just cruising and just being like, hey, I'm gonna go 30 minutes and then come back.
hmm
And not, maybe you don't try something scary. You want to be safe, or you
hmm
just like 30 minutes in the zone.
That's true. Although I also live like on a hill in all directions, so if I just go cruise, I'm gonna have to walk up a lot of stuff
That's not
at
fun.
some point. But yeah,
Over here it's almost all flat.
we're surfers now, so it's
Wait.
a different lifestyle.
Yeah, this is new. Uh, I feel like new novelty phase is beginning, but it feels tropical. It feels high energy but chill.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna say, sometimes you just go for a quick skate session, just cruise around for a bit, and then you fall because of a little stone.
Mm-hmm.
And that when that happens to me,
Mm.
I'm so mad for like
Yeah.
30 minutes. I just walk back home.
Yeah.
It's just like walking off the wherever you
Something.
fell,
Yeah.
like you
The pulled groin one, that one
it
sucks.
reminds you for like a month, like, hey,
Yeah.
you like a little rock just
Yeah.
brought chaos into your life, and you have to remember that for 2 weeks until the soreness is gone.
Yeah.
So
One of the worst ones for me is when one foot lands and the other one doesn't, and it like forces a very fast split.
don't even go there.
It's
Yeah.
like whoosh, it's like an elastic that just stretches to the point where it's like stops itself. Yeah, your flexibility stops the momentum of the board.
And it's counterproductive. Your flexibility will just
Oh, yeah.
be half of what it used to be after that.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. What's the
Yeah.
downside to surfing, though?
Sharks.
Please, surfer friend, please tell me about surfing lifestyle.
I don't know. I'm not even gonna go there.
You
We're
could
not
surf there,
surfers.
right? Could
We're
you
not
surf in
surfers.
Vancouver?
Not really in Vancouver. You could go to the island. There's like Tofino and then a few other spots you could go to.
Like you could surf
Um,
within an hour from like an hour drive from
from
where you're at?
here?
Yeah?
No, 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 no. Maybe
Way more.
like 5 hour trip.
Oh, okay.
Because I'd have to drive and then get on the ferry and then 3 hour drive once you get to the island.
Okay.
That's if you wanted to go to Tofino, but you could go somewhere else. The waves aren't bad. They're definitely not as like powerful as say waves in Indonesia, but um, they're good. Like they're good for learning. Uh, yeah, but
How do you feel about the surfer, nomad, digital worker, Wi-Fi, can go anywhere lifestyle?
it's great.
Is it sustainable? Like, is it something?
I don't know. I think I don't know. It depends. Like it depends who you are and if you're genuinely doing it for for the actual reasons of like passion and all that stuff. Like I'm sure there's lots of people that live that lifestyle for a little while and then need to change it up. And then there's other people who are content and happy doing that for their whole life. There's people like Alex
Yeah.
Honnold who like go around in a van and just climb, free climb, and I mean, someone like that, that's satisfying. Uh, but yeah,
Could you do it? Like, would you be happy for the rest of your life surfing and being chill and
dude, I'm not a surfer. I don't surf, so no. Like,
nice?
if I like started surfing and I got good and considered it maybe, but I don't even surf.
But you free dive. You could free dive. You
Oh, I
just
would
switch
love to do
surfing for
that.
the free dive.
Oh yeah, that would be
Nice.
yeah.
Is that the dream?
Or really
Like
to
ocean?
have like a piece of land and like grow lots of vegetables and fruits and like have land that's really close to the ocean and you could free dive lots and spearfish for like food for dinner and stuff like that. Dude, that lifestyle is
Yeah,
that's a great lifestyle.
that's a great lifestyle.
Yeah. There's a lot of people
That's
in like
also
Europe and Spain and Italy that live that lifestyle. Greece. Yeah.
true.
It's a great lifestyle.
Mexico.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
lots of fishermen in Mexico. It's a great fisherman tradition.
Yeah. In
The coasts, of
yeah.
course, of course,
That's
obviously.
it's a traditional Mexico City. There's paintings of it in Teotihuacan.
There's a great ancient, archaic mythological story that involves a a fisherman that meets a very wealthy American businessman in the coasts of
How old is this story?
Zihuatanejo.
Uh-huh.
In the coasts of Zihuatanejo.
Yep.
Um, should I summarize it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
try
yeah.
to try to two
You
minute
have me on
it?
the edge of my
I like have no
cenote.
choice. You have no choice. Um, just how could I super summarize it? Okay,
Super summarize.
super summarize it. Businessman asks fisherman what he does for a living, right? So
Yeah.
fisherman is like, hey, like I just wake up when the sun comes up. I kiss my family good morning, and I go to the ocean and I do my fishing, and
Hmm.
then I come back and just like you said, like
Yeah.
have some fish for food and have some coconut and fruit
Hmm.
and over here everything is abundant. You know, the ocean provides and the earth provides,
Nice.
and like we don't have fancy anything, but we're happy, right?
Hmm.
And he says like, no, yeah, I can see that. So like that's why I'm here, and this place is beautiful and super chill, and but um, like I see, he starts explaining to the fisherman how he could grow his fishing business. Like we could hire someone, and then we have two boats, and then we buy another boat, and then we double the fishing, and then we start selling. Maybe we start importing, exporting,
Hmm.
and then we'll have. But then in this long story, the fisherman is also like, oh, that's a great idea, but why? Oh, because this way you would grow and have more profit, and then we'll have like a whole organization, and but why, but why, but why? And then
Hmm.
after like 100 whys, the businessman arrives to um, so you can retire and live happily
Hmm.
and super chill in the coast and go to the ocean, and like pretty much where it all started, and probably made that story super summarized, like I said, and
Oh,
extremely
I get it. I get it. I get it.
extremely non-climatic.
No, it's great. So basically, the businessman was telling him to do all this stuff so that he could have the lifestyle he already has.
Yeah,
That's nice.
that's
This is a great
which is
story.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Um, I'm not saying I live by that story at all. It's just a story. It just came,
Hmm.
rode the wave, and here we are.
Hmm. That reminds me of um, what's his name? An Idiot Abroad, Karl Pilkington. You know that guy?
No,
You never seen that guy ever?
I haven't.
It's like he was the producer, I think, of the Ricky Gervais show. He was like the guy on the switchboard, and then eventually he became like a known guy. I don't know if he's a real person or if it's like a character that he's maintained throughout all of these projects. But basically he presents himself like a really like just working class English fellow, and he just goes around and the idea is that he's like a complete idiot, and he like travels around the world and then makes comments, and they're very funny, and it's like his philosophy. But one episode he was like, I think he was in South Africa, and he was in this super fancy hotel sitting there looking, and he went on this rant about like that everyone just wants to sit down, like everyone just wants to sit on their ass, and he's like, people who are like working really hard and doing all these jobs are just trying to sit on their ass, but in like a better location. And he just goes on this, he goes on this rant. He's like, you know, you could just sit down right now and like, you don't have to do all that work. Like, it's just a really funny sketch, because not sketch, but just a funny like rant, because it's a lot of that is true.
A lot of that is true. Yeah. Except people that just want to sit down, their whole thing just ends up falling.
Yeah.
Like, you can't maintain high comfort levels without working your ass off for that. There's not that many circumstances in which you can put yourself in a highly abundant comfort, premium everything,
of course,
and like not do anything.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to do that, I don't think.
Lots of people
I guess so, yeah.
Just work all day for more comfy, beautiful things. Which I'm not saying is wrong, but it's a fact that a lot of people are willing to sacrifice a lot of time and high working energy.
Things are crazy.
Things are what things do.
Yeah, the value of things should be.
It's tool value.
What tool value? It should be tool value, not like value that you're putting inherently in the thing. It should be tool value. I just wanted to mention.
Which makes me doubt the whole invest in experiences, not things, because experiences you can take with you, and things will stay when you go. Experiences are great, but I'm not trying to choose between objects.
Don't choose. Yeah. I watched a little video piece. I forget where it was, on a tribe. I believe they're in Southeast Asia. They were nomadic, so I think now they're in Thailand within the boundaries of like they're put on an island. They were like a nomadic. They're basically like a free-diving tribe, and like for hundreds, maybe thousands of years, they just were nomadic, and they traveled and lived on boats, and they would just spearfish for their food, and the children spend so much time in the ocean that their eyes had slight adaptations different to everybody else, where they can deal with the salt water better. So like they can open their eyes a lot easier than everybody else. I think that's crazy. You can verify that on the Human Planet documentary.
There's also an outdoor living tribe. Their range of vision was like almost more than 180. Like,
I bet.
Crazy.
But I don't really know what I was gonna say. But it was kind of sad, because they took these people and they've like constrained them to one island, and they've even told them like, you can't hunt this fish, you can't hunt this fish, you can only go on these certain times, while at the same time they're letting like large scale fishing vessels like completely eviscerate the fish populations in the area. It's kind of wild, but they were living that lifestyle,
Is it
free
sad?
dive
Is it
lifestyle.
sad? Yeah.
It is sad because they're not even letting them like all the Bruce Perry stuff, and we talked about this.
Hmm.
It's like, who are we to prevent tribes from modernizing or having the opportunity to get electricity and shelter and, some of the benefits of modern day life? It's like we can't create these like narratives where we like idealize tribal people and say, no, you got to stay that way because we think that it's like a poetry or something. Like it's, so there's that. But at the same time, like these people, they're not even letting them modernize. They're just keeping them on this island, and they're like treating them almost like subhuman. They don't even consider them a part of the, I believe it's in Thailand. They don't even consider them like a Thai citizen. They're just like stuck there almost like a tourist destination.
Yeah.
People can go look at them and take pictures and be like,
That's
uh,
horrible.
yeah, and you can see them in interviews. They're like, would you take this or modernize or your way of life before? And they're like, we were free before and now we're not free, and so it is sad.
Hmm.
That is a sad situation.
What do you think about that concept? I've thought about that a long time. We have the same issue in Mexico. There's a lot of indigenous
Yeah,
communities here that
yeah,
have their own language, their own culture, and their own land and their own laws.
yeah.
It's a huge thing here, and
Should
it's
we still make a
also
documentary on
like
that? Should we?
we should, yeah,
All
of
right.
course, yeah. I wouldn't ever say no to documentary.
I cut you off though, but they're having that same issue of
It's like
modernizing
the
to,
government wants everyone to be a citizen, like,
yeah,
and everyone to I don't know, it's tricky. I'm afraid
would they
to
have to pay
just finish the
taxes?
sentence. S- That's the thing. If they pay taxes, it's like the benefit, right? Of
Yeah,
you get water, you might even get internet, like
right, right,
roads.
right.
But they don't, they're already striving, right? So they, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. Many variables,
Yeah,
um, and both sides of the problem have lots of pros and cons.
right.
So, um,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a tough issue.
it
It's
is.
a tough issue. It's really
It is.
crazy to actually think about the fact that there are people living in a different time right now. Like there are people who are living like
Hmm.
most human beings would have been living even thousands of years ago. Like that tribe in Hawaii.
Sure.
Those in the Amazon, that tribe that seemed like pretty happy, and like they seem to be one of the better examples of like idealizing tribal life. There's a lot of documentaries where they're like, it's so peaceful and they're communal and share, and while they're saying that, like you can tell there's like dynamics, and they're like stuck with the same people, and there's like tensions and like politics and power dynamics, and it's
Yo,
not all like
yeah.
beautiful. But this place was one of the ones where I was like, oh, they genuinely seem like very, very happy living this way. But that's wild to think about, that's
Have you seen
time
the?
machine, dude. That's time machine.
It is. Have you seen Leave No Trace?
Mm-mm.
Great movie, bro. Super recommendation. I
Okay.
watched that a couple of days ago.
Can you super summarize, please?
I'll
Super.
super summarize it in a super fast.
Yeah.
summary. Father-daughter relationship.
Yeah.
Father was in Iraq.
Uh-huh.
This is um, not sure what the city is, but
Uh-huh.
U.S.
Uh-huh.
They lost the mom.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily specified why.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like pre-subtext story.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy has such bad PTSD that the only way he can live with himself and his daughter is in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like super off the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Like they find camping places and they move
Mm-hmm.
in a national park,
Mm.
and they have to, like, there's some story that a couple of times before national park security they
Yeah.
find you and they want to reintegrate you into society,
Yeah.
and he provides for his daughter, and he's like a very capable man, takes care of her, provides for her out of nature. They just find stuff, and they can also just like walk into the city and purchase anything from a market or whatever, you know. But he needs the outdoors so bad,
Mm-hmm.
and
Nice.
that's where the movie starts, and it's
Yeah.
very well told story, you know, in terms of the cinematic language that's used.
Nice.
It feels very like you're in for the ride.
Yeah.
So
I'll
that's
super watch
that was
that.
my appreciation of that. Like I enjoy that, and it
Yeah.
has a lot to do with what we're talking about.
Nice. I'll super watch that.
You'll super watch that and super
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah. I bet. I
I'm
super
sure.
bet.
We need to lower the super amount of super emotional
Yeah.
extra inflating the conversations with super
Hyperboles.
before, yeah,
Yeah.
prefix. It's a great prefix.
Super
The super
hyperboles.
anything.
Yeah.
Super great prefix. But I digress.
Yeah.
What's up? I feel like people are watching this and I'm slow and non-coherent
First of all,
and
nobody's watching this.
first of all,
And
I feel like we're gonna be like,
second of all,
welcome to Spoken Openness episode 517,
yeah.
and we're happy to have 7 viewers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We'll clap.
We're in this for the long haul, you know?
We're here for probably 10K episodes at least.
10K. Our goal, our business plan is 10,000 episodes, 100 subscribers.
Yes, yeah, and that's greedy. I think that's high, very
That's
greedy.
high. That's high. Yeah, we
Like,
shouldn't
yeah.
expect that, dude. 100. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like telling people to subscribe. Like, hey, please click the subscribe button. Like,
Yeah.
please. We should do that though.
That being said, subscribe to the channel.
Yeah. We should also have mini, small
Welcome back.
ads. Like, hey, what are you currently reading? Hey, I'm reading some. Like, hey, I have some Ansel
Yeah.
Adams photography. Oh,
Ooh, nice. I have a calendar with his photography. It's very nice.
I wanted to show that, but it was completely
Washed out.
overexposed, clipped.
That's is that what's going to happen with artificial intelligence and privacy in 20 years? If you try to show something that's copyright, the video will detect it and it will blank it out, so you can't even show or
Sure,
play.
yeah, of
It's
course.
going to be crazy.
It is already crazy. That was all last episode.
We got into
Right.
it last episode. So everyone paying attention right now to this episode, and you're like, I want to hear about AI. I want
Yeah.
to hear about it. Then last episode, check it
Mhm.
out. It's all on the YouTube channel. This episode is like a chill sesh with two surfers. You know what
It
I mean?
is. Yeah, yeah. This is like
It's just two surfer guys
laid
chilling out.
back, slow talking,
Super
deep
chill. Yeah.
voice, like
Deeper voice.
super.
Yeah, this is a super
Yeah,
chill surf hangout.
I like the hangout. Yeah,
If you don't want to hang 10, get lost.
get lost.
We
You need
don't want
to
you here.
Apple W right now, please.
Unsubscribe if you don't want to chill sesh hang 10, because that's what we're about here.
Yeah, dude, you should control that overexposureness.
I'm trying.
It gets out of control.
I've slowly been closing this blind like all the way, and the sun creeps into the sun where I didn't put it, and then I tuck it in over. I think it should be good at this point. I have
Yo,
extreme weather changes, I feel like, over here.
and mhm. Is
I'll
that
I'll figure out.
equally?
I'll set an auto exposure, I think. I'll figure
You
that
have
out.
extreme emotional changes as well?
Maybe they correlate.
You've- Yeah.
If I was
Maybe.
super alchemy guy, I
Do
would
you
correlate
do
those.
you maybe we don't go there, but I just out of the blue want to
Yeah.
ask, do you believe the moon phases influence women's emotional state? See, I'm super seriously
First
asking.
of all, you're triggering me by making it just about one gender. You're triggering me.
No. But this is the question, like specifically, moon phases,
No.
women
No.
emotional state. The moon phase, ocean altitude and thing.
Yeah.
What's ocean
Yeah,
tidal?
yeah. Ocean altitude.
So women and men,
I get it.
90% water thing. Do you go there?
No, I don't. That's not. I mean, the water thing. First of all,
Mhm.
we would
Yeah,
have.
I know I'm reaching
There's a
here.
few things. There's a few things. First of all, we'd have to understand exactly why the tides shift, and I don't think I understand, and I don't even think we fully understand how that works. But maybe I'm totally wrong. I
The
don't
moon,
know.
I know, could not super summarize it right now, but it has to do with
Well,
moon
it's like
phases.
moon and wind, but also and like pressure changes, but also like I think there's an element of variability that we don't fully understand how to account
We
for in the
don't.
same way like weather we don't fully know how to predict. Uh,
We not only we don't fully, we don't
but it's
half
supposed to
understand. We
be
don't even 30% understand
supposed to
maybe.
be gravity, right? Like the moon is different
Gravity, you
distances.
do it, but no one knows what gravity is.
No, but my point is
Like, if you're
you're
telling me you know what gravity
no, but
is,
the
get the head. I'm just kidding.
no, but the point is that gravity is a real thing, whether or not the
It is
name
very real
it's a
thing.
real thing, and the moon's distance changes how
Most
much.
most real things. No,
So if
one of
so,
the most realist things.
so gravity is a real thing, and the moon's weight and mass
Mhm.
affects how much it influences the Earth, and that has to do with the body of water, and as
So
you said,
answer
the
is
altitude.
no.
Let me finish.
You don't think? I'm sorry, interrupter guy here.
Super
Sorry.
interrupter guy. Usually,
Jesus.
usually I'm that bad. I
I'm
don't.
good. I'm good at not getting mad that I'm interrupted. So you should practice that.
I don't think that it affects the water in our bodies. No. And to your first claim, I understand the metaphysical and the don't say anything. The
Holistic approach to
no
no
no no no
new
no
age.
no the ancient stereotypes.
Hmm. Okay.
What
It's
is what?
not quite that.
No, but what's
It's
the
not.
word? What's
I
the
mean,
word? Tell me the word.
I don't want to because if I say the word, it will expose my own bias. So it'll be a
Archetypes,
reflection of my
archetypes,
own.
archetypes.
Oh,
I
nice.
understand the power of archetypes and the feminine and
Okay, okay,
moon
okay.
and night and water and the forest and the earth. I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I
No,
don't
but I was asking the physical thing, the physical influence. You don't believe that at all, like 0%.
I'm trying to
Moon
answer your
phases,
question.
women emotions.
I'm trying to
No,
answer
I
your
want to make
question.
it binary. I know, but I want to make it binary.
It's
I want
not
to like,
binary.
okay,
I say no, but yes if you believe it does and if you live in
of
that
course.
space, then it
I,
does.
I want to thank you and appreciate the fact that you defended
Oh, that was hard.
the non-binary solution to the thing because
Yeah.
that's our thing. The both and thing.
Why
It's
would it
almost
influence it? Why would it influence it? You tell me why you would even ask that question.
I don't know, but seems to me so many women think it does. So maybe women placebo themselves
Well, I think that's
emotionally with
true.
the moon, and it may be the archetypal thing you mentioned, and that placebos the women that are higher in trade openness to
Right.
experience themselves
Yeah.
as in relation with the moon changing
Yes.
thing, because
Yes.
also
I agree
the
with that.
moon renovates herself. I could say herself because it has
Yeah.
quite a lot of feminine
Yes. The
attributions,
archetype has
and
justification.
that is very deep relation with the women's menstrual cycle, and that affects them both emotionally and chemically, and um, maybe that could be related. And then they placebo themselves into thinking the moon phases, and
Right.
then some
I
women
think
and
it's a
also men. I'm not
placebo.
saying it's only a female phenomenon, but also some males also kind of look forward to the next equinox,
Right.
and they're aware that Mercury is in retrograde, and
Right.
I'm not
I think
shitting on
it
that at all. Like I like the symbolic awareness some of
right.
that has, but not sure though. We're the My mind is almost always making a balance between 1 + 1 = 2 and 1 + 1 = 1.
Hmm.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about,
Go to the last episode.
yes.
Make sure to subscribe.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't think it would be crazy for me to suggest that the majority of people who are into like moon cycle and astrology and new agey type stuff are women. I don't think that that's crazy to say. I think that
That's reasonable to
I
say.
would say 76%.
I'd go like 73,
Yeah,
71, probably
that's true.
68, maybe.
That's true.
Yeah.
Um, so I think maybe that could affect the comment of saying that women in that situation, if it's true that more
Mm.
women are interested in this stuff, then it would be true that women would be more affected by stuff like the placebo effect and living in that
Yeah.
world and paying attention to it and reading a lot about it and being really self-aware and sensitive about how their body feels and trying to correlate that with lunar phenomenon.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I don't think that there's anything. Um, but
We
I
remain
will
a
say,
skeptic.
there is something to the archetypal language and symbolism that sort of takes phenomena and shows how it as above so below and shows how these there's a connection between macro and micro,
Yeah.
and that there seems to be similarities between things that shouldn't be correlated. in terms of behavior, pattern, numbers, time scales, shapes.
You're talking about the graphs,
I'm
you've
just
shown me this. I'm
I'm
recalling.
talking about metaphysical relationships to things that
Okay.
shouldn't be related in terms of like why should like I was gonna say something, but then I already explained it in
No,
my
don't.
mind. I already explained it in my
Okay,
mind.
okay.
Um, yeah, like you could say even that eye thing. You look at the eyes, you see like things that look like a nebula, and then you can look in space and you see things that look like nebula, and it's like, whoa, man, it's there's nebulas in the eyes, but it's like, no, but also like that's crazy that such intricate and detailed things are on the micro and the macro, and that there's something there, and that's why I'm not so fast to dismiss things that seem stupid, like the moon affecting people on Earth, physically or emotionally or whatever you want to say. It's not that I think that that's real, but I think that this unknown relationship between things that shouldn't be related, I think there's something there that should be explored. And so I am interested in that stuff because
Yeah, but also we don't quite know what macro is. We don't quite know what micro is. Like there's tons
you
of
need to super explain yourself.
money and big investment and scientific research happening in both. What's the macro? And what's the super extremely micro? Like we're still pushing those frontiers, like in both
Right.
space exploration and black hole exploration, and all everything is
We
that's
basically
in this
we
right.
basically
Like we
have
don't. We're
multiverse and quantum
mhm.
like string theory. Basically we have that.
Yeah, yeah, and that sort of explains what macro and micro might be, which is very confusing. Like we don't
Hmm.
really. You might think a microscope that lets you see bacteria is micro, but then a scientist might tell you, no, bro, like that's you're still macro. Like which your perspective
This is what I
determines
would say. This is what I
where
would
you're
say.
situated in the.
Right. So I'm talking from relative to our human body.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
I'm not using it as like a literal truth, like saying micro macro, and these are micro macro, and that's always micro macro, and those are, they're stuck to those names. I'm just using that as a way to communicate based on a human being body size,
I
to
love
be
it.
to be able to
Nice.
say there's things.
Humanizing it.
There's humanizing it. Yeah. Well, that's where we are. That's what we can try to do. We're human beings.
Exactly.
We've got to try to figure out what this thing is from where we're at, and try to figure out what's our place and what's our function, and how do we fit into this whole grand, crazy
Yes.
smorgasbord of phenomena and light and energy and
More.
waves and all of
Keep
that
going.
stuff. We're trying to figure out meaning
Yeah.
and how to interpret these things to figure out our
Interpret.
purpose and how to navigate
Perfect.
this phenomena.
Phenomena.
The phenomena
Dude.
of being alive,
Yes.
of having conscious awareness, of being the awareness conscious mind of the universe.
Oh, yes. I need to, sit in that for a minute. Let silence soak it in.
Yeah.
Let the transforming words transform the psyche
Wow. Yeah.
out of not
What's
rushing
happening?
more words.
Yeah.
Dude, because profoundness just arrived.
Whoa. Nice.
Yeah. That was so like that's the one 3 minute thing we need to cut and promote on the spoken openness thing. This rant right here. You feel I'm exaggerating,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
when that happens, we need to somehow recognize it.
Yeah. Well, to me, we're talking about macro and micro. That's like speaking on the macro level of what I would like to be able to do is to communicate as macro as possible and as micro as possible. So we can articulate the micro in terms of every single topic, in terms of physical sensational phenomena, psychic phenomena, physical reality, and then also be able to discuss the macro and inner workings and relationships and similarities between things that shouldn't be related and massive contradictory elements of what we observe to be the physical reality we live in. And that's what I like about having these conversations is because I don't know if you've ever done this, but you try to take an object in your mind and then just slowly double it or just add to it and see how much you can contain of one thing. Like start with a marble and then make it 2 marbles. And then like, okay, I can handle 10. Visualize 10. And then go like, all right, 20, maybe that's too fast. Let's double. Let's go 15, 20, and see how far you can go. Because we talk about numbers like billion and trillion. And like to actually take a second and try to get there visually was so hard. It's so hard. And that's sort of a representation of what I mean when I talk about like the macro or communicating on the macro.
Is micro precise clarity in visualization? Is that micro?
Micro, we're using micro
Like
in
your
more ways. Your
Right, but that'll
micro.
fall.
So you're saying your micro is one more time for me?
What I'm saying, if you
How am I blown out again?
visualize, because weather is crazy.
Yeah. If you visualize
Something very precise with lots of detail. Is that
Yeah.
practicing your own micro?
Yeah, that's going micro.
That's going micro.
You're
yeah.
going full micro, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
So-
detail is micro, and then zooming in.
So if you
Zoomed
do
in.
a very thought-dissolving meditation and you sort of lay in that
Hold on, though. Hold
peaceful
on.
relaxation
Yeah.
where there's nothing specific, it's just abundant well-beingness.
Here's the
Is
problem.
that macro?
Here's the problem that is the paradox of life.
I'm making strategic questions, bro.
Right. If you go deep into micro, it turns into the macro,
Excuse me.
right?
If you go deep micro,
It
you
becomes macro.
somewhere switch,
Yeah.
it becomes macro.
Because if you go full micro and you're observing every single sensation and you know and you can feel and it becomes oneness, then all of a sudden you're a part of the macro. Then all of a sudden you cease to see boundaries, borders. You see the mass.
Then you lost focus. Because if you hold the detail, if you hold the micro,
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
but if you go, but what you're saying is if you let the micro feel you in, you might feel you in. That wasn't the right words.
Yeah.
If you go enough into
Yeah.
profoundness of the micro, that detail will become the opposite of detail, which is
That's what I'm
almost
saying.
overwhelming, unifying
Uh-huh.
thing.
Well, I think that is the what is it? The law of can't think of the name, but it's like hot, cold. They're connected. And when does hot be?
It's the law of high risk, high return.
No, I'm talking Hermetic philosophy.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's the
As above, so below.
no, not quite.
Yeah,
But yes,
no,
yes, but yes. No,
yes,
but
but
yes.
yes, yeah.
It's like
Bec-
you know, when does cold become hot? It's when does the
I
cold
like
become
that.
hot? Yeah, and that's the same thing. It's like micro and macro, they're one thing.
Sure,
And
because the micro is inside the macro,
yeah,
and in the micro you can find the macro.
sure. That's another way to say
Because
it. Yeah.
you are a micro of the universe,
Right.
but you can find the macro experience inside yourself if you look for it.
Yeah, and if string theory or whatever, all that, you know, if that theoretical physics is true or whatever, you know, you can always you can always imagine the most micro thing that is pervasive throughout the universe, that exists regardless of whether or not there's atoms on it or in it or on top of it, or like whatever forms our human body is like whatever fundamental material thing is in our body is also in space and is also in the air and is also, so it's like, yeah, you can go into an individual thing but then find the essence that's also in the external. And I think that's what we're talking about. And but yeah, I think micro macro is the way I'm talking about it is from the vantage point of a human being. And I don't agree or like this. I enjoy as entertainment watching what's that guy's videos? Oh, what's his name? He takes like Kabbalah and like esoteric teachings and tries to pretend that he knows the like he has math about the universe. And oh, what's his name? What's his name? And he was like, basically, there was a documentary, I think you watched it too, where he said that if you took all
I know who you're talking about.
he said if you took all the matter in the universe, that matter outweighs the light, and that if you shone a light onto our universe from the outside, it would be a black hole.
I've never heard that.
That's what he claimed. He's like our understanding of the size of the universe right now, as we've measured using like the W map and radio frequencies and all that stuff. That size of the universe, if you took all the matter in it, like all of the observable stuff, then the mass of all of those things is so great that if you shone a light, like that it would be a black hole in another universe, like multiverse theory. It's like complementary to multiverse theory, because the reason that you can't see anything in a black hole is the mass is so heavy that it sucks in all the light. And so if you calculate our universe size and the mass in it, I have no idea if this is accurate or true, but it was a crazy idea. But
it's this guy that has a documentary and gives conferences about scientific sacred geometry. Yeah.
There's a lot of those people,
You could
but
just
I forget.
Google the sacred geometry guy, and his name will probably be up there.
I forget what I was saying though.